I have a piece of roast beef. I've taken off the fat, but you can leave the fat on if you like. So the first thing we're going to do is to cut it into strips like this. And I'm going to take one of the pieces and fillet it or cut across. I can feel the meat under my fingers, and just so to make sure that I don't cut myself, so be very, very careful. Small pot, I'm adding just a little bit of oil, and then I'm going to add my garlic, and then to that I'm going to add my soy sauce and the sugar. Just let the sugar melt, and then I'll add lemon juice. We'll throw in the cayenne pepper. If you don't like cayenne pepper, you can use black peppercorn, and I'm throwing in the lovage. My Filipino friends, you can also use kinchay. I'm just going to let that boil. I just want the heat to infuse the flavor and the scent of the lovage. So once you see the lovage sort of changes color to a duller olivey green, then turn it off. And I'm going to let this cool down before I put it on my beef. My marinade's now cooled down, so I'm just going to pour it into my meat. And I'm just going to mix it all through. So I'm just laying it on top of each other, making sure that everything's coated. And pop it in the fridge for an hour. And so now we're going to put it together. To start off with, I'm going to take some mustard. Salt, just sprinkle a little bit of salt, pepper. I'll take my dried sausage, take some eggs. I'm just gonna quarter the egg, so that way it's not too thick when I roll it. Put some gherkins or pickles. And then now we're going to roll this. Just going to lay that across like so and roll it up. So take everything in, just grab it and then pull and roll it. And I'm going to take some string and tie this up. So there's one, and I'm gonna do the same on the rest of my meat. So now I'll put my beef roll, just put the rest there. So we'll just let that brown up. We don't want to cook it, we're just browning off the edges. Now it's all browned up, so I'm going to turn my heat off. Now into my large pot, I'll put a little bit of olive oil, just enough to saute the onion. And then I'll put my onion in. Just cook it till it's translucent. Now I'll add bay leaf. And then I'll put in my beef stock. And then we'll put the tomato paste. And then I'll pour my hot water. So we're just gonna mix this around, putting the carrots. And so now I'll put the beef roll. In the pan that we fried our beef roll in, I've got some juice left over, so I just wanna take all of that, shake it around and pour it into our pot. So we're gonna put the lid on and let it boil for about an hour or until the meat is tender. It's now about 40 minutes and I'm just going to check on my beef. The sauce has reduced and I just want to check to see if the meat's tenderized. That's nice and tender now. Now I'm still going to reduce the stock a little bit more. So I'll cook this for another 10 to 20 minutes. Depends on how much sauce gets reduced. And so now I get to this stage, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. So I've got about 1.5 kilos. So per kilo of meat, of beef, put about 2 tablespoons. So just going to melt that cream cheese there. And we're just gonna let it melt, and that is looking so good. And I will cook this for another 15 minutes. 15 minutes later, that's looking nice and thick. So now I'm gonna turn it off, and I'll take the meat, put it in a tray, and we'll take the strings off. And as you can see, the sauce has thickened up. And what I'll do is fish out the bay leaf. So I put 2 bay leaves in there, and I'll just mash up all the carrots. And then I'll turn on my heat again, and it's on high right now. And I'll just let it boil up and reduce for about a couple of minutes. And for parties, just arrange the beef this way, and I'll just drizzle the sauce on top.